Good morning, everyone. We'll be starting our service this morning by singing Sanctuary, and the words will be broadcast right up here.
Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy and loved right through. With thanksgiving, we are a living sanctuary anew. Make us aware we are sanctuary, each made holy and love right through. With thanksgiving, we are a living sanctuary anew.
Come into this place which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all of your vulnerabilities and strengths, fears and anxieties, loves and hopes. For here you need not hide, nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are called to be. Come into this place where we can touch and be touched, heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, and the compassionate is expected. Come into this place because together we make it a holy place. Let us worship together. And as we join for worship this morning, as we always do, we ground in our land acknowledgement. Acknowledging that we are gathered on the traditional land of the Duwamish people, stewards of this land in the past and the present. With humility and gratitude, we honor this land and the Duwamish tribe and commit to our role in the story of repair of our relationship with this land and with its people. Whoever you are, wherever you have come from, whatever the color of your skin, whoever and however you love, however your body moves, however your brain works, however you identify, you are welcome in this faith community. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition has no test of faith, no creed or oath to swear. We have instead the promises that we make to one another, commitments we make to healing a hurting world within and beyond these walls. Welcome, everyone.
Good morning. I am Lisa Reitzes. I'm today's worship associate, a member of the worship team, and I'm joined this morning by the Reverend Carter Smith, and we're also the Chalice Singers with Scott Farrell. It is so good to be together here for this service on the theme of 2025, A Faith Odyssey. If you're with us for the first time or the first time in a while, we're especially glad to have you here. If you haven't already, please scan the QR code on the pew card in the pews to fill out. You can also find an order of service, but especially there is a link for a welcome form so you can sign up for our electronic newsletter, The West Side Week. This chalice is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist heritage, and it reminds us that we are a people of a community with minds that think, hearts that love, and hands that are ready to serve. Together we care for our earth and work for friendship and peace in our world. Our chalice lighter today is Ann Fox. Would you please come forward? And now, as Ann lights our chalice, please join me in speaking the words of our congregation's affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with one another. Thank you, Anne. It is so wonderful to see familiar and new faces out there. So now let's take a couple of moments, to greet our neighbors around us. See these lively conversations. That's why the chime wasn't making you sit down. We hope you continue all those great conversations at coffee hour downstairs after the service. As is our community tradition, our chalice lighter has been asked to respond to a question or to offer a poem so that we can get to know them better. Anne has chosen to offer a piece of poetry that is meaningful to her.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good to be here. My reflection is going to come first, if that's okay. So anxiety runs pretty deep through the matriline of my family. Historically, my initial reaction has been to catastrophize. Similarly with my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, who I was lucky enough to get to know, and probably the women before her. I've been on a mission for the past couple of decades, actually, to quell that reaction and to live with and transmit more peace. And my family could probably tell you I'm a work in progress on that. Joining this congregation was actually part of that, about a decade ago almost. And I'm really happy to be back attending more regularly now after COVID sort of threw us into disarray. So when I was putting together our holiday card this past season, I was in a weird headspace, as maybe some of you were in the month of November. It felt really good to fill the card with joyful pictures. But the year had been a tough one, and I was really afraid for the year ahead. And there weren't any words that felt quite right to include on the card. So I included a piece of this poem, which to me is like, it served as an emotional antacid, if you will. In fact, returning to these words again and again has allowed upheaval and uncertainty to live alongside profound moments of purpose and connection. And to me, this verse says that the little moments are actually the biggest moments, and that the natural and spiritual worlds eclipse everything in this eclipse everything in this material world, and I get to be a part of those natural and spiritual worlds too. So you might be familiar with this. It's The Peace of Wild Things by agrarian and pacifist Wendell Berry. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting for their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free.
I invite you all to rise in body or spirit as we sing our opening hymn, Morning Has Come, which is hymn number 1000 in your teal hymnals if you're interested.
Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. A new day dawned, once more the days give. Wonder fills these moments shared together. The light of peace here shine upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home.
Thank you, dear singers. It is now our time for all ages, which will be led by Lisa Reitzes today. Anyone of any age who wishes to see or hear Lisa better, please come down, sit on the floor here or in the front pews, and I will let Lisa have her script.
Yes.
After our story, children and youth will be invited to join today's religious exploration program, where they will talk about covenant. They will ask, how do we want to be treated and what makes a space feel comfortable? Thank you very much. Take it away, Lisa.
Hello, good morning. Welcome. Okay. You've got coloring, you've got a critter. Fantastic. So good to see you all. So our story today is called A Cup of Light, and it's written by Pamela Baxter and illustrated by Terry Stafford. Got that right. So each Sunday, Unitarian Universalists in congregations everywhere light a chalice. Lighting the chalice shows us that a worship service or another important gathering is starting. It reminds us that our time together is special. For instance, some families light a chalice before eating dinner. Sometimes we light a chalice when we're traveling far home. That's a sense of comfort in a strange place. The chalice helps us remember that near or far, Unitarian Universalists are all connected in spirit. Chalices come in many sizes and shapes. Some are large, like ours. Others are small. Some are plain, and some are fancy. No matter what shape, size, or color they may be, one thing makes all Unitarian Universalist chalices the same. They hold a flame. A chalice with a flame, the flaming chalice, is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism. Now you can find pictures of flaming chalices on banners and signs, in stained glass windows, like the one in our entry space, on jewelry, Reverend Carter's wearing one today, T-shirts, brochures, even on pencils and bumper stickers. Keep an eye out for them. Now a chalice is a special cup. A cup may hold water to refresh someone who is thirsty. A cup may hold soup to nourish someone who is hungry. A cup can help sustain life. Chalices have been used in religious ceremonies around the world for centuries. They can also be symbols for achievement or celebration. Your award for winning a spelling bee might look like a cup. Your family might have a set of glasses that you use only for special occasions. Now, fire is mysterious. We can feel its heat, but we can't actually touch it or hold it. Please don't try. Fire makes things change. It can melt metal or turn a mound of sticky dough into a hot loaf of bread. Fire provides warmth and light. It only takes a small flame to brighten the darkness, just a small fire to warm a cold night. Unitarian Universalists put the chalice and the flame together to make the symbol of the flaming chalice. Here are some ways to think about what the flaming chalice represents. The chalice might be our loving community. The flame, change. We are each changed by being part of this loving community. The chalice might be our sharing community. The flame, mystery. Together, Unitarian Universalists explore the great mysteries of life. For some, the flaming chalice means hope. It reminds us how much good we can do when we work together here in our congregation and out in the community that we live in. Some people say that the flaming chalice reminds them of joy and celebration, like the candles on a birthday cake. Everyone is special. Everyone has a special light inside. When we let our light shine and share it with others, we make the world a better place. Each of us is like a flaming chalice. What does the flaming chalice mean to you? If you wanted to draw a picture of your idea of a flaming chalice, what would it look like? Maybe that's something you can do with Leilani later. When Unitarian Universalists light the chalice, they often say special words called chalice lightings. At Westside, we might say, as we did today, and some of you know this one, we are Unitarian Universalists with minds to think, hearts that love, and hands that are ready to serve. Together we care for our earth and work for friendship and peace in our world. So on Sundays in congregations everywhere, like here, Unitarian Universalists also let the flame go, release the flame when the services are over. But even though the flame is gone, the light it represents never really goes out, because it shines in you, it shines in me, it shines in all of us, so let your light shine. Woo.
Thank you, Lisa. We will sing our children out to their classes as you go.
We hold you in our
in a moment, we will share in our offering our practice of generosity that sustains the good work of this congregation. Each month, 1/3 of our undesignated offerings go to a partner in the wider community. For the month of September, our community giving recipient is the Northwest Immigrant Rights Project, which is a nationally recognized legal services organization founded in 1984. Each year, it provides direct legal assistance in immigration matters to over 10,000 low-income people from over 150 countries, speaking over 60 different languages. The Immigrant Rights Project also strives to achieve systemic change to policies affecting immigrants through impact litigation, public policy work, and community education. The Immigrant Rights Project serves the community from 4 offices in Washington State, in Seattle, Ranger, Tacoma, and Wenatchee. Now, you can give by cash or check, and the baskets will be passed around shortly. And there are envelopes in the pews if you wish to record your name to show that your donation came from you. At home, again, thank you so much for contributing to this offering. And to give by text here or there, follow the instructions on the screen. I think they're coming. They will get there eventually. And now, please enjoy this gift of music from Scott and the Chalice Slingers.
Instructions are missing, and so we have some signs at the back when you come in that have the text giving information, and I encourage you to stop by there now or on your way out, please, if you would like to give. And it looks like you might also be able to find information on the yellow card if you scan this QR code. Thank you so much.
People say to me, oh, you gotta be crazy. How can you sing in times like these? Don't you read the news? Don't you know the score? How can you sing when so many others grieve? People say to me, what kind of fool believes that a song will make a difference in the end? By way of a reply, I say it's fools such as I, who sees a song as somewhere to begin. A song is somewhere to begin, to look for something worth believing in. If changes are to come, there are things that must be done, and a song is somewhere to begin. People say to me, oh, you gotta be crazy. How can you dream in times like these? Don't you read the news? Don't you know the score? How can you dream when so many others grieve? People say to me, what kind of fool believes that a dream will make a difference in the end? By a way of say a fool such as I, who sees a dream as somewhere to begin. A dream is somewhere to begin, to search for something worth believing in. If changes are to come, there are things that must be done, and a dream is somewhere to begin. People say to me, oh, you gotta be crazy. How can you love in times like these? Don't you read the news? Don't you know the score? How can you love when so many others grieve? People say to me, what kind of fool believes that a drop will make a difference in the end? By way of a reply, I say a fool such as I, who sees love as somewhere to begin. And love is somewhere to begin, to search for something worth believing in. If changes are to come, there are things that must be done, and love is somewhere, and a dream is somewhere, and a song is somewhere to begin.
Thank you for your generosity, which supports this community and our ministries in the wider world. We now take a moment to make space for collectively holding the joys and sorrows of this community. We have no personal joys and sorrows to share this morning, but we know, as always, that each of us holds things in our hearts, and that joy and sorrow is here in this room. I also have a sorrow. I learned that this morning there was a shooting in Michigan at an LDS church, Latter-day Saint church, and any time a house of worship is desecrated in this way is a tragedy. So we hold that community in LeBlanc, Michigan in our hearts. Let us have a moment of silence, holding in our hearts all the joys and sorrows, known and unknown, in this community. Let us lift each other up in love, as well as our neighbors in the wider human community. May all know peace. May all know belonging. May all know love. May it be so. Let us continue this meditation in song, singing "There Is a Love."
There
Are you tired, lonely, searching for meaning? These questions confronted me when I opened my mailbox a couple of weeks ago. It was a postcard from a new church, inviting me to their opening weekend. I have to give them credit, they had beautiful graphic design. The background was this lovely, mossy woodland stream. The font was dynamic, interesting. Around the sides of the all caps questions, it says, "A new church in the city for the people, where society, faith, and life meet." Okay, it got my attention. I love visiting new faith communities, learning from them. This one looks so modern and accessible and relatable. I respect their outreach game. So out of curiosity, I visited this church's website, and what I found was a little bit concerning. On the surface, they really look, and probably are, doing vital ministry, connecting people with one another and with meaningful service opportunities in the wider community. But digging deeper, I found links to resources that promote some of what I see as the more worrying aspects of modern fundamentalist Christianity. There were references to the need to boldly and courageously live by Orthodox Christianity, which means a strict and narrow interpretation of the Bible, and podcasts, they look like TED Talks, they're beautiful, about the reality of spiritual warfare in our world, in all realms, including politics. These types of churches trouble my value of pluralism. I have this openness to other forms of religious expression, but these feel like red flags when I see public expressions of Christianity. So since the 1970s, there has been a rise in a certain type of Christian fundamentalism that wants to shape society in its image and is very sleek and appealing from the outside. I believe that today, in the year 2025, this movement is reaching unprecedented heights of social and political power. And I want to preach today about why I find this worrying for the future of religion in America, of which we are a part. So in this sermon, I want to offer you some information that might be tools for understanding these types of movements when you look at them. I don't want to talk about specific people. I won't name that specific church. There are so many examples, but I want to focus on this development of a broad movement and the ideas that it stands on. I am going to speak mostly about religion in the public square in the form of Christian nationalism, not because it is the primary or only form of religion worth talking about, it is not, but it is a movement that poses a threat to more diverse expressions of religion. I will talk for a bit, and then we'll have a musical interlude, and then I'll come back to share about Unitarian Universalism's place in this landscape and my hopes for how we all will engage in this moment. So first, let me take a second to define Christian nationalism. It's a word we've been hearing a lot about these days. This definition is from an expert lawyer, Amanda Tyler, who heads the Baptist Commission for Religious Liberty. Tyler says that at its core, Christian nationalism is an ideology and movement that seeks to merge American and Christian identities. It uses Christian symbols and language, but it is better understood as a political movement, a way to gain power, rather than a religion itself. But also some scholars say that it is deeply theological. Christian nationalism heavily relies upon a mythological founding of the U.S. as a Christian nation singled out for God's special favor, and a belief in a divine mandate that authorizes conservative Christians, in a very narrow definition of what a conservative Christian is, to rule over all aspects of society. It is exceedingly rare for someone to self-identify as a Christian nationalist, but these ideas are very popular right now. We currently have a president, congresspeople, court judges who are promoting policies that are based on these ideas. From policing gender and gender roles, to a vitriolic anti-immigrant campaign, to the introduction of overt Christian teachings into public education, it is undeniable that the ideas, the ethos of Christian nationalism is on the rise and gaining power and seeking to reshape our country in a specific image. Now, I have always been interested in the intersection of religion and politics. I was a religious studies major, political science minor, but I think it feels more important now than ever for all of us to be paying attention and to be well-versed in what this looks like. Paying attention to the way that religious language and symbols are being used to build autocratic power and subvert democratic ideals. It is particularly jarring to witness these trends when we've spent so much of the past couple of decades hearing about the decline of religion. That is what we thought was happening in religion in the public sphere. We've been hearing about the rise of the so-called nuns, but I think there's some data that can help us understand a little bit better. So since 1999, the number of Americans who identify as having no religion has been the fastest growing group when surveyed. They were under 10%, like 8-9% in the 90s, and now, depending on the data you look at, like 22 to 28% of the US population identifies as having no religion. So that's a huge gain in 2 decades. This number actually seems to be holding stable in the past 5 years. It's a little too early to tell. Some people say maybe it's hit a plateau, or maybe it is on its way to rise even more. But there legitimately has been a rise in people who are either fully done with religion or who identify as spiritual but not religious. But we can't assume that these people are monolithic in any way. There are people who are leaving more difficult forms of religion, more controlling forms of religion, and will never return. And there are people who grew up secular, and they're open and curious and just haven't found their place yet. But there's a phenomenon within this group of Americans that points us back to certain forms of fundamentalist Christianity. It's a problem with research methods. There are a lot of people who are just anti-institutional Christians who get lumped in with the nuns. Ryan Burge, who's a scholar, he writes the blog Graphs About Religion, has studied this. Over and over again, studies find that there are people who say they are not affiliated with any religious group, but then in the comments section, that other box that people can type in whatever they want, they say they believe in the Bible, they say they follow Jesus, but they wouldn't click that they are Christian or Protestant. Some of these people, he speculates, are part of Christian communities, but don't feel that the umbrella categories like Protestant or Catholic represent them. And he also worries that though researchers want to call these people Protestant, that is not a term that people understand or connect with or even really know what it means. So there is a subset of people who don't identify with religion, but who still rank themselves as highly spiritual and would still be very susceptible to Christian nationalist messaging. These are people who would be excited and drawn in by the postcard I got in the mail. And of course, there are so many non-affiliated Christians that are not and never will be headed towards this kind of fundamentalism. I want to say that Christianity is so diverse. But it does mean that it seems that there are people in this group who are spiritually searching and are vulnerable to well-branded promises of belonging. And this is something I actually see every day in my hospital chaplaincy job, When I ask patients if they are religious or spiritual, there are a lot of people who give these same kind of answers. They say, I've never been to church, but I believe in Jesus. Or they say, yeah, I'm Christian, and I say, oh, I'm curious what kind of denomination. They have no answer for me. And with the patient in front of me on an individual basis, that is a fine and beautiful way to identify I'm there for them in their journey. But as a trend on a demographic level, I do find it worrying. At its worst, this trend away from institutional forms of Christianity feels to me like a trend away from historical context and from religious literacy. And without historical context, certain groups, certain ideas can use very modern, very appealing tactics to steer people towards political ideologies like Christian nationalism. Without certain checks and balances, seekers may find themselves drawn toward charismatic but authoritarian leaders who promote their interpretations of texts as unquestionable doctrine. We have to remember that many traditional conservative denominations, I say traditional conservative denominations, they acknowledge that the texts in the Bible emerged from specific historical contexts and have many ways to be interpreted. Ideas like spiritual warfare are something that can be taken at wildly different interpretations if taken at face value, and so we need tools for interpretation and for engaging with these religious ideas. So churches and politicians who assert that there is one correct way to interpret the Bible and use it to justify all manner of exclusion and control are promoting a religion that is ahistorical and decontextualized. And I do not want to live in a society shaped by this kind of religion, and I think we need to do something to counter this. Because people who are hungering for meaning and connection can be drawn to easy answers. It makes sense, it's a human thing. It is so human to find your meaning and belonging at the expense of treating people as other. As Unitarian Universalists, inheritors of liberal religion, these are times in which we need to lean into our heritage that teaches us to resist easy answers. And we cannot let Christian nationalism continue to be the dominant voice of religion in the public square. So we've come about to my pause. We are going to have our chalice singers offer us a musical interlude, and I'll share the rest of the sermon about where we go from here. They are singing a song called Let the Mystery Be by Iris Dement. I have always found this song to be sweet. It doesn't automatically feel radical. If you know it already, I invite you to try to listen with fresh ears. In many ways, it is radical to lean into a spirituality that does not stop at easy answers, that rejects dogma, and the idea that we can even know the ultimate truth. Let this song be uplifting and grounding.
Is wondering what and where they all come from. Everybody is worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be.
Some say what's gone, you're gone forever, and some say you're gonna come back. Some say you rest in the arms of the Savior if in sinful ways you lack. Some say that they're coming back in a garden, bunch of carrots and little sweet peas. I think I'll just
Let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all come from. Everybody is worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. mystery be. I think I'll just let the mystery be.
Okay, so I have another story, and this one's about Unitarian Universalists. When I was in college, there was a place in town called Mamacita's that had the best Taco Tuesday deal for broke college students who were too young to go to bars. 2 tacos and chips for $5 was great. It was the place to be on a Tuesday, so if you could manage to get a table, the tacos were delicious, the vibe was great, and the line stretched out the door. So there I was, one Tuesday, waiting in line, and a woman in front of me noticed my chalice necklace. She asked me if I was a Unitarian Universalist, and when I said yes, she responded, "Oh yeah, I used to go to the UU church a lot, but I haven't been in a while. I guess I'm just a really advanced UU now." This was a joke. I laughed along, as you're supposed to in that situation. The idea is funny if Unitarian Universalists are so non-creedal and so open to spiritual experience. Why do we even need a church to worship in? To be UU without a church? Expert level. At the moment, it didn't sit right with me, but I've had to process and think about it and try to put words to why. And I've come to the conclusion it is because I reject the notion that we can do religion really well on our own. It is tempting, especially for we who emphasize freedom of belief, to think that religion is a private matter, something that each person must work out on their own. I think actually religion at its best needs to be tested and enriched in the context of community. And yes, we can have periods of rich exploration on our own, and there are many faiths that have strong traditions of retreats and hermits, but I think that times of solitude happen in conversation with and are supported by the learning and growth that happens in community. And Unitarian Universalism isn't the only place to do community well, but it is where we are. As Unitarian Universalists, specifically, our core value of interdependence and covenantal theology calls us into community to a practice of more full expansion and more full expression of our faith. Increasingly, when it seems that we are living in a landscape where people are either latching onto their communities that offer them dogmatic certainty, or they are drifting out and going it on their own, I think that we play a vital role in offering a third way between the tight control of some groups and the feeling of aloneness that can happen when you're just searching. So in order to do that, we need to show up and be a part of and nourish communities. Going back to that postcard, it connected with me because, yes, I do feel the alienation of these times, and I know so many people around me who do too. We are tired, we are lonely, we are searching for meaning. Knowing this truth, it is my hope that Unitarian Universalism specifically and liberal religion more broadly can offer a vital middle way between answerless drifting and the type of belonging and certainty that runs on a supposed divine mandate and enacts a culture of exclusion and hate. Can we answer the longing for connection and meaning in the hearts and spirits of so many while also allowing for pluralism? So another definition here, religious liberalism. This is different from political liberalism. Religious liberalism is something that exists in Christianity, Islam, Judaism. All major religions have religious liberal expressions, but it is recognized as affirming the fundamental unity and interdependence of all existence. It recognizes and affirms the transforming of power, of love, and the interdependence of all existence, and the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Religious liberalism lifts up human freedom, rejects moral dualism, engages in social justice, builds cooperative power, and expresses theological openness. In other words, it is antithetical to the pillars of Christian nationalism and promotes a very different and more democratic vision of society. This is a stream that our living tradition flows from, and it should empower us to engage in a world based on our values of freedom, pluralism, and care for the whole human family. Therefore, it is my sincere prayer that Unitarian Universalists everywhere today and in the years to come can keep finding ways to assert our place in this larger ecosystem of religion in the 21st century. And we need to get better at offering forms of belonging that appeal to seekers without appealing to their worst fears, prejudices, and eagerness for easy answers. And this isn't a new conversation, it just feels heightened right now. There's been good work in the past few decades to bring what Bill Sinkford calls a language of reverence into UU vocabulary, and there are books like Reclaiming Prophetic Witness that inspire us and get a little bit more specific about this, and work like UU The Vote, where people are living their values in the public sphere. But this is not new. In 1996, Richard Gilbert, a UU thinker and social justice leader, preached at an annual gathering of UU ministers on this topic, 1996. Here is a selection from that piece. As we face the new millennium, we will need to do some serious soul searching and some serious world repairing. The two go hand in hand. We of the liberal religious faith are slowly but steadily being marginalized, overwhelmed by a confident fundamentalist political theology that threatens to engulf us utterly. However disparagingly we may speak of the religious right, it has tapped into something very deep. It has given its followers a spiritual rootedness in a dogmatic faith and a sense of purpose grounded in an absolutist politics. We who eschew dogma and reject absolutism will need to work harder than the right, for our faith demands more of us. We need the power of conviction even in the face of our ultimate uncertainty about the nature of reality and right and wrong. While it is perhaps better to be vaguely right than absolutely wrong, the very nature of our faith requires of us deeper convictions. These words are strong. They inspire me. Because we need one another, and we need to understand who we are and where we came from and claim our heritage as religious liberals. We are not a faith with dogma or absolutism, and that is where the strength of our conviction lies. We have a deep reverence for mystery and the slow unfolding transformation that cannot be contained by doctrine or black and white thinking. May we all feel like this is enough to give us strength and find our voices in the face of all that we are up against. These are not times for being tentative in our faith. And what we are already doing here at Westside is offering a way of being that is so needed. How we show up with one another is this in action. Belonging and caring without certainty, without control. We are a we that doesn't depend on exclusion and harm of an other. Our tradition honors pluralism and invites us to treat our neighbors as if we are truly independent with them because we are. So let us be champions for a faith like this. Let us be the ones who offer glimpses of beloved community to the whole world. Our closing hymn is Love Will Guide Us. It is another song that sounds sweet and happy to the ear, but it speaks truth. Let us, in singing it, commit to be guided by love through this hard night.
I invite you all to rise in body or spirit as we sing Love Will Guide Us.
Love will guide us, Jesus guide us, hope inside us, will lead the way on the road from free to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, Jesus guide us, hope inside us, will lead the way on the road from free to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
Thank you to everyone involved in today's service, which includes you, but especially Reverend Carter, Scott, and the chalice singers, Ann Fox, our chalice lighter, Nate Mesnard and Sarah Deppa in the booth on our AV, our ushers and hospitality team. Thank you to all. As always, it is a pleasure and a blessing to do this sacred work together. Please make sure to look at your West Side Week, which we'll have received on Friday, for details about these important upcoming events. These are things that are happening before we next gather here on a Sunday. First of all, on Saturday, October 4th, there will be a Parents' Night Out. It's important that you RSVP to our Director of Religious Exploration, Leilani Davenberry, who's downstairs. You can also find her and them in person, but there's an RSVP request in the newsletter. On Sunday, October 5th, the Spark Sunday will return, which is our community gathering for sharing and listening, open to all. On Saturday, October 11th at 11 a.m., there will be a celebration of life here for our dear friend and Westside member, Sue Hawley. Together, we will remember Sue through the music she loved, the poems she chose to leave with us, and the stories that capture her spirit. All are welcome to share in this time of remembrance. If you would like to contribute a story, reflection, or other element for the service, please reach out to Reverend Carter by October 6th. Again, the details are in the newsletter. We warmly welcome written or video submissions from those who are unable to attend in person as well. Finally, our Sunday service on October 26th, called The Vigil We Keep, will include our annual memorial slideshow with images of those we have lost in the past year. So please send photos to Shannon in the church office as soon as possible. Our next Sunday service will be on October 12th, when Reverend Carter with Worship Associate Ellen Macomb will lead an LGBTQ History Month celebration called Carrying the Torch. Scott and the Westside Chorale will offer inspiring music.
I invite you to rise one more time in body or spirit. And Anne, would you please release our flame? We release this flame, but we do not release one another. We go out into the world, but we carry with us our conviction and our hope and our faith in this community. May you go into this week blessed and blessing the world. We hold you in our love as you go.